Hello, my name is Muhammad Hazim Ministry. My student ID is 2020471554. I am student from Chemical Engineering EH110.
Hello, very good morning. My name is Muhammad Ghazi Hazwan bin Muhammad Nazrin from EH110.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Haris Minasri and I'm from class EH110 Part 5 and my student ID 2020809526.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Muhammad Hakim Zulkifli from EH110 Part 5. My student ID is 2020488052.
Слава народу-победителю! С праздником вас! С Днем Победы! Ура!
Hello and a very good morning. My name is Muhammad Ghazi Hazman bin Muhammad Nazrin from EH110 and today I will be talking about the introduction and the definition of Russian Sanction 2022. So, for the introduction, what happened, bro? Okay, so the EU has imposed unprecedented sanctions on Russia in reaction to the unprovoked and illegitimate invasion of Ukraine on February 24, 2022. And the illegal annexation of Ukraine's region, which is Donetsk, Luhansk, Zaporizhia, and Kherson. So, the objective of this economic sanction is to punish Russia severely for its conduct and effectively block Russia's ability to continue its aggression. So, let's move on to the definition of that. For the definition, economic sanctions are punishing and deterrent measures implemented by one government or a multilateral organization such as United Nations on another nation or organization or person. Yes, and it includes travel ban, access freeze, arms embargo, capital restriction, trading and foreign aid restriction. So as we all know that these are the sanctions that Russia has faced, which also includes Belarus and Iran due to the invasion of Ukraine. So I'll pass to Deni Hakim for the next part. Thank you and peace out.
Мною принято решение о проведении специальной военной операции.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Muhammad Hakim speaking. In response to Russia 2022 wars on Ukraine, a broad multilateral coalition including the United States, the EU, the United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, Japan and others imposed sweeping new sanctions on Russia. The sanctions unprecedented in terms of scope, coordination and speed target the overseas wealth and economic activity of Russia, its and decision makers. The section also target Russia financial and energy sector and access to Western technology among other financial and trade flows. Despite that show total Russian section by sources and who section Russia. We use the Castellium AI dashboard to track the consolidated Russia section data. This Russia section data is updated weekly. So the data show a total of 10,377 sections Russia. US is the most that section Russia, while a total of 3,072 Russian sections according to resources. The graph also shows the total sections are increasing sharply from March to December 2022. As you can see, Australia, Canada, EU, Japan, Switzerland, and UK and US announced fully restriction of oil import, gold import, export of luxury and sovereign debt on Russia. Early in the war, the broad consensus was that a new section could devastate the Russian economy. Since the start of the war in February 2022, sanctions have created numerous economic challenges in Russia. By other metrics, however, the Russian economy has weathered the sanction better than many expected. In October 2022, the International Monetary Fund (IMF) estimated that in 2022, Russian economy would contract by 3% less than half of its economic disruption during the global financial crisis of 2008 until 2010 from the figure 1. Additionally, IMF forecast suggests that the 2002 uptick of inflation in Russia and its decline in import will be temporary, as you can see on the graph. Russia's oil export to non-US destinations, largely exempt from sanctions until December 5, 2022, have been an important source of government revenue. There is some evidence that economic conditions in Russia are started to deteriorate at a faster rate. Here are some newspapers from BBC News, which is Prime Minister Hungarian Viktor Orban says there is no compromise on Russian oil embargo, and Hungary is the one of the countries that involved in Russian sanction. And also from Euronews, that state EU countries agreed a new sanction on Russia that include a price cap on Russian oil. EU nations have ended imports of Russian oil brought in by sea, with the ban on refined oil products from February next year. The United States has also stopped all import of Russian oil. The UK has pledged to phase out all Russian oil import by the end of this year. An oil price cap approved by Western allies aims to stop countries paying more than $60 for the barrel of Russian crude oil. This can be proven by the rate of import and export of oil and gas in Russia decreasing from March 2022.
Now, I'm going to talk about the consequences of the Russian sanctions. If we don't end war, war will end us. The consequences of Russian sanctions is divided into three, which is society, economy, and people. For the consequences of the society, the first thing is that the people is more alert to the world, meaning that the people will read more to know what's happening. Next is the society will become more empathy as they think that those who are affected. And lastly, the society is becoming more and more rational as they know what should do and what not to do. Hence, there will be more understanding. For the consequences to the economy, the first thing is it will increase in oil and energy prices. The sanctions are driving up global oil and natural gas price, causing spikes in inflation worldwide and ironically reducing the world's access to the metals and minerals necessary for the transition away from oil and natural gas. The second point is increase in domestic and imported inflation. Sanctions have imposed some costs on Russia, disrupt global energy market, and created the economic opportunities for countries outside the sanction coalition, including China. And lastly, the consequences to the people. The first point is that the disruptions will affecting the investor in Malaysia. The second point is the people will remember the MH17 accident. It had brought the trauma back in the remembrance when they heard about the Russian, as this relates most during the time when the planes was shot, as it involves two countries. And lastly, it's about the threat of cyber warfare. Cyber warfare is the use of cyber attacks against an enemy state, causing comparable harm to actual warfare and or disrupting vital computer systems, especially if they know the country is taking sides.
So right now I will explain to you about the conclusion of our Russian sanction presentation. But before that, I will show to you the video how does Malaysia react to the Russian sanction.
Bang, prinsip kita ialah kita tak percaya kepada unilateral sanction. Sanction harus melalui United Nations. Dan sebagai ahli Human Rights Council, kita sudah mencadangkan bahawa pertama kita minta ceasefire, kedua rundingan itu diteruskan dan sekiranya perlu sanction boleh dilaksanakan, tapi kita belum sampai ke tahap tersebut. Tapi hakikatnya
Based on the review, for me, I think that there's a lot of ways for Malaysian government should solve this issue, which is one of them is review economic ties with Russia and impose appropriate restriction, work with ASEAN to forge a unified position, and not the time to stay neutral. For my first point, which is review economic ties with Russia and impose appropriate restriction. By further review economic ties with Russia and impose appropriate restriction, such action will not have a significant impact on Malaysia's trade performance and economy, as the country has a relatively low level of trade with Russia. The combined size of exports to both Ukraine and Russia covered just 0.4% of Malaysia's total exports in 2021. And the government can also impose export controls on items such as dual-use goods that can be directly used as weapons for Russia's military purpose. Okay, next. For my point number 2 is work with ASEAN to forge a unified position. This is because the individual ASEAN countries has different responses and reactions to the Russian invasion of Ukraine have reflected division in the regional bloc in confronting a pressing security challenge. So, for me, Malaysia should lead and work closely with its Asian partners to send a strong and forceful response to the Russian invasion of Ukraine and pursue more dialogues through diplomatic means to contain the situation. And if the international response to Russia's aggression in Ukraine is not enough, it will create new security risks in Asia, particularly in Taiwan Straits and SES, which may harm Malaysia's maritime and territorial interests. So the next one is not the time to stay neutral. It is undeniable that there are negative consequences arising from the Russian invasion of Ukraine, but that could eventually hurt Malaysia's domestic and diplomatic interests, which is the Malaysian government should take a strong stance against Russia's aggression in Ukraine, which is such as stance does not come at a price for Malaysia due to its limited trade and economic ties with Russia. Rather, taking a strong position against Russia's invasion of Ukraine will help enhance the country's international reputation as a principled sovereign state and maintain its middle power image. So last but not least, the moral and lesson from the Russian sanction. Before reviewing some lessons and sanction against Russia, we should realize that misleading this expression is. So one lesson of the current sanction is that they are quite certainly preferable to World War III, which are made of people in our own countries. But it is safe assumption and virtually all the individuals hit would prefer the sanction to actual war. And another lesson, it seems to me, is the following the situation illustrates how dangerous a world government would be, which is have formed by the NATO and the other association, which is by the US parts. Thank you.